The first time Ezra's hand brushed mine, it wasn't over candlelight. It wasn't in a bar or at some reunion. It was over a grocery bag. Simple. Ordinary. But my body reacted like it remembered something I didn't know I had lost. Something dangerous. Something forbidden. He wasn't just a delivery boy. And I wasn't just a customer. What I didn't realize then, standing barefoot at my front door, was that letting him step inside would change everything. My name is Monica. I'm 52 years old, and I live in a quiet town just outside Charleston, South Carolina. The kind of town where neighbors still wave from their porches, and gossip just as quickly. But one Thursday afternoon, when the storm clouds rolled in and Ezra arrived with more than just groceries, my whole world shifted. After my hip surgery 3 months ago, life slowed down. Too slow. I hated asking for help. I hated the way people looked at me, fragile, dependent, weak. So I started ordering groceries online. It was easier than dragging myself through the aisles. That's how Ezra showed up at my door. He was young, 24, maybe, with dark curls clinging to his forehead, quiet eyes, and a voice so soft it made you lean in to hear. His uniform looked borrowed, like it didn't quite belong to him. "Miss Monica," he said that first day, careful, almost shy. "I've got your delivery." I expected a quick handoff. Instead, he asked if I needed help bringing the bags inside. My instinct was to refuse. I always refused, but my hip ached that morning. So I stepped aside. He carried the bags in one by one. No noise, no rush. Just slow, deliberate movements. And when he was done, he gave a small nod and said, "Have a good day, But before he left, his eyes swept the room like he was memorizing it. Or maybe searching for something. That should have been my first warning. Ezra came every Thursday after that. Always with my usual order: milk, oranges, oatmeal, chamomile tea. Always with that same quiet presence. At first, I told myself it was just the loneliness talking. My daughter, Candace, had moved to Atlanta after her wedding, and the house had grown too quiet. Too still. But Ezra broke through that silence. He asked about my hip. If I'd read anything good. If I'd baked those cookies I liked. Small things. But no one else asked. No one else noticed. One morning, I winced as I reached for a bag. He didn't hesitate, just took it from my hand, set it on the counter, and said firmly, "You shouldn't be lifting anything yet." It wasn't rude. It wasn't overstepping. But it was protective. And something shifted inside me. That afternoon, tucked inside the oatmeal box, I found a small card. No signature. Just 6 words: "Don't forget to take it easy." I knew it was him. And I knew this was no longer just about groceries. The next Thursday, the sky was heavy with storm clouds. When the knock came, I opened the door to find Ezra damp from the rain, his curls plastered to his forehead, his shirt clinging to his lean frame. He clutched the bags tight to his chest like they held something more than bread and fruit. "You made it through the storm?" I asked. He gave a half smile. "I don't melt, Miss Monica." That made me laugh, really laugh, for the first time in months. As thunder cracked overhead, I said the words before I thought them. "You could stay for dinner, if you want." For a moment, he froze. Like he was calculating the risk. Then he nodded. "I'd like that." We ate stew at my small kitchen table, the storm hammering the windows. He asked about my life here, about my daughter. I asked about his family. His voice grew tight when he said, "They weren't around much." That was all. No details. Just a shadow that passed across his face. Later, on the porch, we sat listening to the rain. His knee brushed mine. Neither of us pulled away. Then he turned, his eyes holding mine, steady and unflinching. "I like being here." And before I could stop myself, I whispered back, "I like you being here." The air grew heavy. His hand lifted, slow, reverent, to brush a strand of hair from my cheek. But he didn't kiss me. Not that night. And somehow, the restraint was more dangerous than a kiss. A week later, there was another knock. This time, Ezra wasn't in uniform. No groceries. Just a small brown box tied with twine. "I baked something," he said, almost embarrassed. "Peach cobbler." thought maybe you'd tell me how bad it is. I laughed. Only if you stay to eat it with me. We sat in the kitchen again. This time, everything felt different. He smiled more easily. His shoulders weren't so tight. And I realized, so did mine. Hours slipped away as we talked. Dreams. Regrets. The weight of silence when no one's there to fill it. And then, he told me the truth. He'd been living in his car for 2 weeks. The words hit like thunder. Without thinking, I reached for his hand. My fingers found his, trembling. You could have told me. I didn't want you to see me like that, he whispered. I see you, I said. Exactly like this. For a moment, the air between us trembled. Then he stood, came around the table, and crouched beside my chair. His hand rested gently on my knee. Monica, he said, my name like a question, like a prayer. And I answered without words. I leaned in, just enough. And finally, he kissed me. It wasn't wild. It wasn't rushed. It was slow, reverent, a kiss that tasted of secrets and survival. That night, we didn't make it to my bedroom. We stayed in the kitchen, peach cobbler forgotten. His arms wrapped around me at the sink, his forehead resting on my shoulder. He didn't ask for anything more. And I didn't need him to. Because in that moment, the boy who once delivered groceries had delivered something else entirely, the terrifying possibility of love. Ezra started coming more often after that. Sometimes with food he'd cooked. Sometimes with books. Sometimes with nothing at all. And slowly, quietly, we built something. But love like this doesn't stay hidden for long. One night, as he sat between my legs on the floor while I rubbed the tension from his shoulders, he whispered, I think about you all the time. I swallowed hard. Then stay tonight. Don't go back to that car. He turned, looked at me with eyes I'll never forget. And then he kissed me, not tentative this time, but full, certain, like he knew what it meant. We moved down the hallway together. And in my bedroom, piece by piece, he undressed me with reverence, not urgency. His hands traced my scars like they were maps, not flaws. We made love slowly, like we had all the time in the world. And for the first time in years, I felt alive. But the world outside my bedroom still existed. And the next morning, when I saw my daughter's old hoodie in the laundry basket, my chest tightened. What would Candace say if she knew? And still, when Ezra pressed his forehead to mine and whispered, You're the only place I've ever felt at home, I knew the risk no longer mattered. Ezra never left that week. Or the next. It didn't feel like I was taking someone in. It felt like he had been meant to fill this space all along. He folded laundry, cooked dinner, left little notes by the coffee maker. It wasn't always about the physical. Sometimes it was just his hand slipping into mine under the table. Or the way he kissed the top of my head after a long silence. What happens when Candace visits? When the neighbors put 2 and 2 together? When Ezra's past catches up to him? Kindly leave a comment, like, and subscribe for more exclusive contents.